Okay,
Just waiting. Yeah, it's blue. Here we go.
great.
Going live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel or welcome back. I'm teacher Casey and I'm here with Jason. Hey, Jason, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Casey.
Thanks for coming and sorry about the delay. If you're here, my technical difficulties happen sometimes. And now we're in my living room where the internet is better. So you must work with technology quite a bit, Jason, do you?
Yeah, I think
Also,
almost exclusive. I'd say 100% of what I do for business and for pleasure is done on the internet. So definitely,
yeah.
and things
So
happen.
you
It's fine.
so you get it. All
Oh,
right. So hey,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Yeah. I'd say the short version is up until recently, I was like an online teacher like yourself, teaching ESL and math across the various platforms. And around August 2021, I was already sort of transitioning into more a career resembling what I'm doing now, which is I'm sort of like an online journalist. So I consider myself a writer first and a podcaster second. So I create podcasts too. And maybe people have heard of my podcast they made most recently called Finding DW. Um, which is about my childhood experience playing a voice on the popular children's cartoon Arthur. So that's me in a nutshell.
That's awesome. Do you want
Yeah,
to tell us about, I mean, you told us a little bit about the podcast, but I thought the
sure.
idea behind it was awesome. Do you want to tell
Yeah,
us?
yeah, definitely. So like my entire life, um, so I started playing the role. I was a voice actor when I was 10 years old. That's when I was cast. And it's been something that people have been so excited about my whole life. It was something that when I was a kid, I thought like, this is awesome. I'm having so much fun.
Yeah.
Um, and as I've gotten older, it seems to be more and more, it's gone from being something that's like a fun fact, like, an icebreaker question when you're meeting a new group of
Mhm.
people or starting a new job, to now it's something that like has given me some cachet on the internet, which is nice.
Right.
Um, so I recently found out that DW had been played exclusively by male voice actors. So I played the voice of DW, like the little sister character on Arthur. And I found out that that character had only been voiced by male voice actors. And so I decided it
Yeah.
would be fun to try to track them all down and
Mhm.
interview them about the experience. I mean, we're talking about an experience where all of us were called DW in real life by friends and
Really?
people you're meeting. Yeah, instead of like your real name, you're
Right.
because it was a popular show and it is still a
Oh, yeah.
popular show.
Still. Mhm.
So it's a pretty unique experience. So I thought it'd be really fun to talk to the other guys. And I think I was uniquely positioned to do it because I love podcasts and I love interviewing people. And
Yeah.
I was also like right in the middle, like there's eight or yeah, middle-ish. Like there were two people that did DW before me and
Mhm.
five who did after. So I felt like I was in a good space to be like, because I was one of the older guys who did it, but we were all kind
Right.
of in the same age range. It was just really
Right.
cool to talk to all those guys and to get back into the world, talk to some of the producers and the creator of Arthur. And it was really fun to make. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's awesome that she was a little sister and played by all guys. So I like read an article about that. You guys have to go and listen to his podcast and things to find out more about it. So
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Oh,
You
thank you
guys
so
might
much.
even,
Yeah.
was that?
No, I just said thank you so much
Oh, you're
for
welcome.
telling people to check it out.
Yeah, we're gonna put his link below this video so you guys can find it as well. Sorry guys, if I don't pat her, she's just gonna keep talking to you guys. I don't know if you guys can see her or not. Here, a quick little shot. Oh no, you can't see her. She ran away. Well, she's still right here, but okay. Sorry, Jason.
It's okay.
My subscribers are totally used to this, but poor Jason. So, um, what did you do before VIP Kid? And after DW, since you were younger then, but
Yeah,
right?
so I mean, I finished playing the voice of DW when I was like 14 and started being
Mhm.
an online teacher when I was about 28. So there was a bit of a gap there, let's say.
Just a bit.
Yeah, yeah. So I went to school and
Mhm.
graduated with an undergrad from a Bachelor of Arts from Ryerson University in Toronto, Ontario, which is where I'm from and where I'm currently based. Toronto's in Canada for people that maybe don't know that. You'd be surprised.
Right.
So And I've just, so I graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Radio and Television, as I mentioned. So I've always been interested in getting into show business, but I didn't really know like where I would fit. So I figured I'd learn what kind of jobs were out there and what skill sets and things you could learn to do. Really fell in love with doing like student radio and podcasting stuff. But again, like didn't realize or didn't really know how to make that a job. And then when I
Right.
graduated, I started working, in the influencer space, and then I ended up working as the production assistant on sets and in production offices because that's what a lot of people were doing. So it
Right.
seemed like a natural progression towards, I don't know, producing or
Something.
directing, which was
Right.
something vague and like like that kind of a thing. And then I mean, like the pandemic hit, and
Mm.
like everyone, it was like totally have to shift gears and figure things out. And so
Yeah.
I searched like jobs to do from home, or digital nomads. I'd heard of that, and I was like, what do
Yes.
digital nomads do to make money? And I stumbled upon online ESL and VIP Kid in particular. And
Hmm.
so I did what a lot of, I think, oh, hello, dog. Similar narratives I've
She's
heard
new
on
at
the
this.
internet. Yeah. Which is like, watched all the YouTube videos and,
Hmm.
found Michael Venn and found the online teacher dude and people like yourself, and
Hmm.
realized it was, wait a second, like there's people making money doing this thing.
Right.
And I just, went for it. And it's really it was an awesome experience and set me up to do what I'm doing today, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It really was a great transition and job while it lasted for me as well. It was fun, still doing my same niche in teaching,
Yeah.
and the hours were not my favorite.
No, the hours kind of stunk and do
Right.
stink. Especially when you're someone like me who, I live in a, very popular city where rent is very expensive and apartments are
Ooh,
very
yeah.
small. I remember early on in my VIP kid experience, I got a noise complaint from my upstairs neighbor, um,
Oh
who, who
no.
said, she goes, I think she left me a note that was like, I think it's great that you're teaching your kid how to read, but do you have to do it at 4 a.m? And we realized it was because sound traveled a lot when I had left my window open.
Oh yeah.
So it became a
Yeah.
game of like, how can I mean, it's why I wear my headphones like this.
Yeah.
Um, I started doing that with VIP Kid. It's so I can control, like, so I can hear my own voice and control the
Right.
volume of my voice. Because otherwise, I'm just so loud and
Yeah.
will disturb everyone around me. So, yeah,
I'm super loud. When we were moving into this house, my husband, I was trying to like pick a room for, where I was going to teach, and
yeah,
my husband is like, how about not that one? And I was like, why? And he's like, because the wall is connected to our bedroom and I'm going to hear you at like 2 in the morning singing songs. I was
yeah.
like, oh yeah, huh?
Oh, I gave
So
up singing the songs very early on. I would just
I
press
don't,
play and mouth them
yeah.
and just that's it.
Yeah, I don't sing very often. Even as
No,
a kindergarten teacher, you think I would, but I don't.
maybe
Hey,
if I was in
Rebecca.
person, I might.
Yeah. Rebecca said, hi, hello, doggy. And I wish we still had a fully booked VIP kid. I like the reliability of the bookings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rebecca has two little ones
Uh-huh.
and another one on the way. So she did VIP kid while her kids were little itty bitty, and whew, she is a rock star. So thanks for coming, Rebecca. All right, let's check. We have lots of questions for you, so let me keep going.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go for it.
So,
Yeah.
how did you feel when China announced that they were going to get rid of some of us teachers, and what it was called, what, the double reduction policy?
Yeah, I mean it's colloquially called the China ban. And I forget what the official name. It has a more important sounding
I
name.
thought it was, yeah, it does.
Um, but basically, yeah, for those that don't know, basically August 2021, China made it illegal for Chinese companies that are based in China that teach ESL, that
Yeah.
hire native English speakers from North America to teach Chinese children English. And those companies had to register as nonprofits. And so a lot of them went out of business really fast. And basically I think it was as late as November 2021, you could still be teaching on those platforms, but
Yeah.
not taking on new students. So a lot of people kind of had to scramble and move on. For myself, I think I was sort of lucky in that I was sort of thinking about transitioning away from the online teaching thing already. I'd kind of had enough of the hours and, was just ready for a change. And as I've mentioned to you a little bit here, alluded to here, but sort of mentioned to you offline when we were talking, I think that working for VIP Kid, I developed a lot of skills, entrepreneurial skills that I realized I could apply to other things, which has sort of led me to what I'm doing now, which is writing on the internet and making money doing that. So even around the time when the China ban was starting to happen and all that panic was sort of happening on the internet, I sort of felt like I was watching from a distance, like with my popcorn or something. I was like, oh, I don't know where I'm going to get some of my money, but not all of my money. So I was
Right.
grateful that I had gotten lucky there.
Yeah, I think we did talk about this last time. I was kind of transitioning a little bit away from it, but still loving that little extra cash that I
Yeah.
wanted. So yeah, but for some it was a huge letdown at that time. So
Well,
are
I
you
can completely
go ahead.
sympathize for like with people like Rebecca who, this because this was at one point my full I was teaching full time. And I could definitely sympathize with that position because like it was super reliable, or it felt like
Yeah,
it felt really consistent, like it was the sure
right.
thing. If I opened my schedule, I was fully booked. I worked
Yeah.
like almost exactly as much as I wanted to with
Yep.
regulars for the most part. So it was I can imagine if I had been doing it at that level at that time, it would have been a lot
Mhm.
more difficult to transition. I feel really lucky that just by chance I'd already sort of started to look other places and had found
Yeah.
other opportunities before
Mhm.
like it was too late or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're not teaching for any companies online anymore, right?
No, as
Or
of
are you?
like it's really new. No, this is like month 2, but like
Hmm.
even technically like up until a few weeks ago, I was still doing a little bit of in-person tutoring.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, I was doing math as well. So when I was doing VIP Kid, I just in case I wanted to have other revenue streams, and I'd never
Hmm.
thought about tutoring math before, but I really liked teaching. And I
Yeah.
thought, well, maybe there's other ways to do this. Maybe I don't have to just teach ESL to kids in China. Maybe there's
Right.
something closer to home. And I found this tutoring company in my city that teaches math. And so I was doing, 2/3 of my time was online and 1/3 was in person when we were able to. So I was wearing a mask and teaching in a classroom setting. But
Right.
that ended about 3 weeks ago for me. And so it's pretty weird. It's pretty strange. Did all the teaching
Right.
stuff for about 2 years, and now I'm looking on ahead, and yeah, with no teaching, it feels really strange.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I just got my email from VIP Kids saying, congratulations on your 6th contract hoodie.
So what is that? 3 years? 3 years?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, congratulations.
Yeah. Right. I'm like, oh man, I waited for that thing.
Yeah.
um, so what are you doing now?
So now I am, as I've mentioned, like I work for primarily my main client is this company that contracts out to other companies that are looking for content, like think like blog content for their websites. And so I'll
Mhm.
write for, grocery companies, like lists on like the best chocolate milk, anything from that to like
Yeah.
marketing stuff, like how to optimize your marketing newsletter, which is something that I know the online ESL community talks a lot about. It's like building a newsletter for email
Right.
marketing. So I write a little bit about that. And I think I'll be getting a little bit into uh, um, like NFTs and stuff, which I know, next to nothing about, but I
Right.
always like learning new things. And so I'm excited to, have that as a new thing to write about. So I'm not quite a
Yeah.
crypto bro just yet, but give me a few
Right.
months and maybe I will be. So that's me in a nutshell. And then I'm also, as I mentioned, I'm producing podcasts as well. So
Mhm.
um, I've got one that I'm working for right now. It's called the Inner Circle, and it's all about the company that produces the podcast is all about teaching people to teaching businesses about the circular economy. So it's kind of like sustainability, I guess, is the easiest way to explain it.
Hmm.
It's pretty cool stuff. So
Yeah.
people should check that out, definitely. But that's not hosted by me. That's
Right.
hosted by the executive director of that company.
Mhm. And so, how can someone find you or your podcast?
I think the easiest way is just to Google my name. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm fortunate in that plenty of stuff comes up, whether I like
Yeah.
to or not, when you Google my name, which is nice. So I
And your
think
name's not popular, your last
no,
name, as
exactly.
far
I'm
as, so
lucky
it
for
comes up pretty good, even if you spell it wrong, because I spelled it wrong the first time.
yeah. I mean, everyone does. I do too sometimes. So for search engine optimization, it's pretty great.
Right.
So
That's
I
what I
mean,
was thinking.
I'm on all the podcast apps. So you can see like my podcast. If you search Finding
Yeah.
PW or just me, you'll find me there. And for the podcast stuff, I should probably get a website up or something, because I don't think
Oh.
it's super easy to find the other things that I'm doing. But they exist.
Right.
Yeah,
I think
it's all
it's
very new to me.
awesome meeting you and like connecting the way we did. Jason had reached out to me to talk to me about something he's working on. And then I was like, hey, how about we trade and you come on my channel? And so, and this is all through Online Teacher Dude,
Yeah,
Tim. So it's really cool, the teachers networking. And even though many of us aren't working for these companies anymore, we're still like all working together to build this, our businesses and bigger things. So I think it's awesome.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like I don't think I feel really lucky to have been part of this community, even though it was
Yeah.
pretty short lived for me. But I think it's like I've always been really, really interested in online content in general. Like I'm obsessed with YouTube, like I think a lot of people are. And
Right.
and so to connect with people who are like building businesses, but in this very specific kind of like different off the beaten pathway, was really
Hmm.
cool. And I definitely wish that I started having conversations like this one and meeting people like you sooner, like maybe when I was in it and
Yeah.
teaching every day. I'm sure a lot of people can identify with like sort of the isolation you feel when you're teaching and then just sort of turn off your computer and you're like, well, that was 5 hours of my life and now I've got a day
Right.
and there's no water cooler to go to. You can't talk about
Right.
the like trial student you had where like the family was giving the youngest son a bath in the background and
Right. The
how
father walking
ridiculous
through in
that
his
was.
underwear.
Exactly. Like you can't like who you can't, it's not like you can call your friend and be like and laugh about it because they're just like, wait, what are you doing for money?
Yeah,
Like
they
what's
don't get
happening?
it.
So I would like post memes and like try to read and be a part of the Reddit community for VIP Kid.
Right.
But like it's not the same as like talking to people and swapping stories and stuff. So
Yes.
but I
We
also
should
think
have
it's pretty
met
cool
you.
to sorry, go ahead,
Go ahead.
please.
I was gonna say we should have met you sooner.
I know. I really wish that I'd started sooner and I wish that I could have been um like I watched like what's the Las Vegas like meetup that happened in like
One of the
2018-ish.
journeys.
Yeah, like I wish I had been part of the community then.
Yeah.
I feel like I really missed the boat because this was
Yeah.
again like I tried this kind of on a whim and as a risk, I think, and but I really like it, fell in love with it and was working at it full time, and it gave me a lot of opportunities. Like I credit online teaching with being able to make my podcast and having the time to do
Mhm.
it. I wouldn't have it's something I would never have been able to do if I didn't have teaching at 4 in the morning to be able to pay my bills and then
Right.
have a full-time schedule of essentially
Mhm.
open to do whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Um, so I wish I'd started it sooner, but whatever.
Yeah. Let's see. Rebecca said the echo through videos makes me not want to sing along too. So that's when we were talking about singing to the
Oh
VIP
God.
kid songs. She said I was transitioning out of it, but could not afford to remove it completely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Amy Lou. Hey, Amy. Thanks for coming. She said, I've always been interested in voice acting. I signed up on a website years ago, but never did any with it.
I'm curious what website.
Amy Lou, you want to tell us? So there's a
Amy,
little bit
not
of
to
a
put you on the
delay.
spot.
Yeah, there'll be a little bit of a delay, but
Yeah.
she might
Well,
just let us know. Or
well, because I know there are websites where you can kind of just like they're like Outschool kind of in that like you make a profile and you make a little bio and maybe a
Really?
yep, but just for voice acting. It's the same idea though. Like you just
That's so
self-market,
funny.
and then people that are hiring can pick you, and then you
Yeah.
can do the voice acting for the thing, whatever they
I
have
could
going on.
never. I don't even like hearing my own voice on an answering machine. Like, I don't even like watching my own videos back. That's why I don't edit. I'm like, I don't, or if I laugh and giggle, I'm like, oh, Casey.
I think it's pretty cool though that you've like, because I definitely identify with what you're describing. I also really
Uh-huh.
like, that's why part of the reason I was doing podcasting is I just like can't stand to like be the fact that I can see myself while I'm talking to you is
Right.
incredibly distracting. um and yeah, the fact that you still do this and provide the service that you do to like the community with your longer content highlighting teachers and their stories, I think is like, it's really cool that you found that workaround where you're just like, nope, I'm just going to do these lives, do them
Just
like
keep
all the
chatting.
time. Yeah. It's
I
really
told you my
cool.
niche is talking. I just like to
Yeah.
talk to everybody.
It's really cool, I think.
That's awesome. Let's see. I don't think she's gotten the word yet, but I'll ask her. And if she tells me it, because Amy Lou and I, actually, everyone in the chat are friends of mine that
Okay.
helped me get started like way back. So they're all VIP kid teachers.
Right.
And they all helped me. Teacher Kelly, I think, was one of my first live interviews,
No
if I remember
way.
right. Yeah. And we are still friends. We still go live every Saturday together. So yeah, thank you guys for being here and supporting me.
The
um, what's that?
Yeah, I'm just curious if it's because there's a Canadian, I think it's a Canadian one. It might not be Canadian, but there's a website I'm just aware of called
Hmm.
Voices. That is like, it could be the one she's describing.
Yeah.
Um, I just know that these websites are so like, they're a way to look, like I don't work as a voice actor anymore, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But like, what I know about these sites is that you can find work with them, but they're not, it's not like a guaranteed thing. It's like without school. Like,
Yeah.
you can post like a class and it could get accepted, but it's not a guarantee that kids will take it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. I'm gonna have to. Oh wait. Oh, it's not her. Okay. Let's see. Rebecca. It is so fun the connections we have made online. I know. Now maybe we need to get Jason on the Mena VIP Kid again and do a do a
Men of VIP
reunion.
kid.
Yeah, we were doing like trivia games and
Oh
things.
my
So I would have
goodness.
like the ladies and then the men, and then we'd go against each other. It's
Sure, I
just
would love to do that. That sounds great. I
Tim was one of the first ones with me on the Men of VIP
Awesome.
group. It was just goofy fun, just ways of connecting and having fun. So
Yeah, I think that like yeah, that sounds awesome. Again, it's just like, it's so funny to be having these conversations now where I feel like I'm only getting further and further from the online teaching thing.
yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, like, do you have like go-to stories when people talk about like what's an example of like kind of like a funny thing or kind of a surprising thing that sort of explains how strange the job can be? Like, did you ever teach a kid while they were like in the
On the
bathroom or anything
toilet.
like that? Yeah.
Yes, many, many, many times.
Yeah, I thankfully never had a toilet, but I once had
Really?
I had a kid who was in a cat cafe. It was
Oh,
so
that's
loud, and
cool.
like cats everywhere, people like regular people walking by in the background and just like
Yeah.
seeing me and being confused, or a kid walking home from school from somewhere, and so he was
Uh-huh.
walking up endless flights of stairs. Like, I was picturing him like with his iPad like walking up like
Yeah.
endless
Oh,
stairs to get to his apartment. I was like, please don't trip.
they've made me so nauseous on
Yeah,
walking places or driving. If I'm in the car with
driving.
them, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
that's
driving and
funny.
pointing up at the sunroof so you can see the
Right.
sky.
Let's see. Um, Rebecca said bathroom, car, bus. Oh, she's
Yeah.
been with VIP Kid. Ooh, you were with them almost from the beginning. There was like only 10,000 teachers or something when Rebecca started. So
Wow,
she's,
that's crazy. That's
yeah,
so cool.
she's been there for a long time. So,
Yeah,
well,
hearing
Jason, I
oh, sorry, go
no,
ahead, please.
no, go ahead. I
I,
just didn't want
I
to
was just gonna
keep
say,
you.
like I've spoken to Michael, teacher Michael Venn, about like what
Mhm.
it was like when it was like 10,000 or 100. I don't know.
Yeah.
But early days of VIP Kid, and hearing about kind of how scrappy and new the whole thing was
Yes.
it really makes me wish that I was a teacher at that time.
Yeah.
I think it would have been really fun to I actually applied a few times to like try to be like a VIP Kid ambassador, because I thought
Hmm.
it'd be fun to like make the videos for it, and talk about
Right.
my experience. But they weren't doing that anymore by the time I
Yeah.
signed up with them. So
I tried that too.
yeah, I think we both would have made really good ambassadors.
We're ambassadors from afar. I
Exactly.
still have nothing bad. I mean, they taught me a lot. So,
Oh my God. It's like all
yeah.
that free training that they give you,
Yeah.
um and all the experience where like I can do this job in my like literally almost in my sleep. Like
Right.
it is
Well, how many of
so
us have? Like,
I know that's what I mean, right? Like it's
like,
I can do it like roll out of bed and teach a really like a I
yeah.
really enjoyed doing it, and learned that if all else fails, my whatever pursuit I'm trying to pursue now, like maybe I'll go back and become a teacher, because it's something I really enjoyed. So, and I would
Yeah.
never have known if I hadn't done VIP Kids. So
Yeah.
it's pretty special experience.
That's funny. Somebody just asked me about becoming a teacher. I didn't know I wanted to be a teacher. I was
Yeah.
volunteering at my kids' schools, and then they asked me to be an aide. And then
Uh-huh.
all of a sudden, I was like, oh, maybe I'll do this, and went back to school and became a teacher. So I started later.
I think that's so cool. I realized I didn't ask you, or I don't really know the timeline, because I know you like I know what you were doing before, and I know that you
Hmm.
had lots of experience in schools as a brick and
Yeah.
mortar teacher. But I guess I didn't really ask you about the time in between and sort of your decision to go back to school.
Yeah. Just, oh, I was Air Force,
Hmm.
which I told you I don't usually mention on here. But anyway, I
Yeah.
went from Air Force, and then I was a stay-at-home mom for a while. I was like, I gotta do something. And then I, worked in daycares. I taught English from home. And then, yeah, then when my husband was getting out of the military, they said I could either become a teacher or like a secretary or something. And I cried. I didn't know I loved teaching so much until they told me I couldn't be an aide anymore. And
Uh-huh.
that's it. That's
Yeah.
when I went back to school. So
And
yeah.
it makes perfect sense to me. I think, that there's such a funny thing that we all have in common, or the more teachers I meet, like, yes, sometimes when you're watching the YouTube videos, you see someone's energy level or the vibe they're putting out, and you're like,
Yeah.
that's like me, or that's not like me. But when we're
Hmm.
having these more off the cuff like conversations, when we're meeting people, kind of, I understand that, like, we're broadcasting live on the internet right now, but just like, but even like speaking to you and speaking to the other people I've had the pleasure to speak to, like we all do have that kind of like extroverted personality that I think lends itself well to teaching. Like it's just funny
Yeah.
how we all found it in different ways. Because like
Right.
yourself, I didn't have I don't have a background in teaching. It was just something I thought I'd have a knack for, and kind of got lucky with it.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Victoria. Well, super cool meeting you, Jason. And hopefully we'll get together again sometime on here or on whatever you're doing. It's just always fun to talk to everybody on here.
Oh
Rebecca,
yeah,
Amy, Lou, you, Kelly. Thank you, everybody, so much. Okay, you know what? I have one question for you.
lay it on me.
How do you say goodbye on yours? Because that is the hardest part for me on all of
Uh,
my YouTube. If you watch my channel, sometimes I'm like, okay, everybody,
well,
that's it. That's all I got
that's
for you.
it.
I'm out.
I find yeah, well, I think it just felt natural when I was doing the podcast to just do sort of like a conclusion paragraph, or like I'd write
Yeah.
my outros and my intros, and
Hmm.
then I just have a sign off like, see you next time. Like
Right.
maybe tease what's happening in the next episode, and then see you next time, or thanks for
Yeah.
listening.
That's
Keep it
hilarious.
simple.
I've been
Can
working on that. Like I'll write something down, and then just it's always like, all right, guys, well, that's about it. See you
I think it's
later.
for what it's worth, I think it's actually like really brave the way that you do it. I think I would need to go into it with like a little bit more prep. Um,
Really?
yeah, if anyone's yeah, I think like if anyone who's still teaching wants to get in touch with me, I mean, I hope you'll point them in my direction, because I'm trying to collect some interviews with teachers. So
Oh, you still need more. Okay.
I mean, I'm always looking to talk to people.
Right.
So at this point, I've got about 4, soon to be 5 under my belt. Um,
Okay.
but I think that yeah, collecting as many people, speaking to as many people as possible, and hearing about the different experiences people have had, I think has been
Mhm.
really valuable. It's sort of, I just want to make sure I'm not only speaking to my experience. If like I think
Right.
even if it's someone who only did it for a few months, I think that would be really cool. Um,
Yeah.
but
So
yeah,
if anybody wants to get in touch with Jason or be interviewed by him, so they just write it under the video? Or do you
sure,
want me to put an
yeah.
email address down there, or what helps you the most?
Oh, no, no, feel free, maybe comment or yeah, maybe I'll flip you my email and maybe you could put it in the comments or something. But
Yeah.
keep it simple, I guess. But yeah, if anyone wants to talk to me about their experiences too, like I would love to hear their stories because I think again, like it's such a fun and wacky job and it's always fun to talk to people who've done it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be cool to talk to more people who've done it.
Yeah, it was fun, guys. So I suggest you go ahead and get in touch with them and hang out.
That's very nice. Thank you very
Yeah.
much for saying that.
It's
I
not
appreciate it.
live.
No,
So
it's
it's
not. You will be edited so you can curse and ah and do whatever you want to do. Just please don't
yeah.
be in a bathroom.
Oh, not any of my friends. We would never.
No, no.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming, and I will see you next time. Bye. Bye, Jason. Thanks.